Hi, one last time I want to demonstrate how I could use JavaScript to load pictures into images dynamically through the DOM. And this time we're going to be looking at an onload event handler, so you haven't seen that before. We'll be generating random numbers using the JavaScript math object. And we'll also be looking at how we can assign text to a DOM object using the inner HTML property. So you've actually seen this done in the program that builds a table dynamically, but I'm going to do it in a slightly different way in this video. So this is a very useful thing to know how to do. All right. So let's take a look at what the program looks like, then we'll come back and analyze the program code. So I have it already open in Chrome, and I'm going to refresh, which has the effect of going out and rereading the instructions from the file, and then the browser will render a new image based upon current instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you'll notice that the picture has changed, and also there's a caption above the picture, okay? And so married kids and spouses in standing position, and if I reload, I get a different picture and a different caption, and the caption is, appropriate for the picture, so that caption is sort of paired with the picture. Do it again. And do it again. Okay. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. All right. So there, you'll notice that it loaded the same picture 2 times in a row, and that's perfectly okay, because what the program is doing is every time the JavaScript function is called up, the JavaScript function generates a number in the range of 1 to 3, since I have 3 pictures. And it will associate the value 1 with picture 1, value 2 with picture 2, the value 3 with picture 3. It'll also pair the value 1 with the caption for picture 1, and the value 2 with the caption for picture 2, and the value 3 with the caption for picture 3. So it's generating 3 random numbers and then making a decision as to which number was generated, and depending upon which picture is generated, that's which number is generated, that's the picture that's going to get assigned to the source attribute of the image tag. So let's take a look and see how all that works. If I flip over here to my source code, again, we're going to see the usual code up here. All right. Then we get to a JavaScript function called LoadPicsRandWithDOM5. There are no parameters. And what I've opted to do this time is to create a variable that corresponds with my one and only image, and if we look down in the HTML, that image tag has an ID of pic1. Okay, so this JavaScript variable objPicLoc1 corresponds with this DOM object, and then I have a second JavaScript variable which will correspond with a DOM object with an ID of caption, and that happens to be a paragraph tag down here somewhere. Let's see, where is it? Okay, it's in here somewhere. There it is. So I have a paragraph tag right here, and I'm assigning an ID to a paragraph tag as well, and that's perfectly legal because a paragraph's a DOM object. Okay, so I can add text to a paragraph so long as I can identify that paragraph in the DOM. All right, so I've got a couple of variables there, and then I declare a third variable called rand that I'm going to store a random number in. Now, the way I generate a random number, and really more precisely, this is a pseudo-random number. So if we were, doing something like a simulation program or something like this, this might not be appropriate because it's not exactly, it approximates a random number, but it's not exactly a random number. But for our purposes, it works fine. It's going to give us a reasonable random value in the range of 1 to 3. Now, how does this work? Well, if you go to W3 School's tutorial and just search for generating random numbers in JavaScript, you can get the details. And what I would like to do is punt on this and just say it's magic code. The details can be found in any number of places, including the W3 School tutorials, which I'm particularly fond of. And the overall effect of executing this code is that it's going to generate a random number in the range of 1 to 3. Once that random number has been generated, I have decision logic, and this is very straightforward. It's just a sequence of mutually exclusive one-way decisions, 3 one-way decisions, right? And if the random number is 1, it's going to load a particular picture, and it's going to assign a particular string literal value. Okay, so how I load the picture, that was demonstrated in the previous programs, and how I assign the string literal, this text, is that I reference my DOM object. More specifically, I reference my DOM object's inner HTML property, and I assign a string literal to that property. Okay, so I'm going to assign one string literal. If I choose pick 1, I assign a different string literal. If I choose pick 2, and I assign yet a third string literal if I choose pick 3. So again, I think this is really, really straightforward. How's the function getting called up? Well, it can be called up 2 different ways. If we look in the body tag, I have put an onload, I've used an onload event method. Okay, so what will happen is as soon as that body loads, it's going to automatically call up that function one time without the user having to communicate that through a mouse click or any other kind of any kind of other input. So this happens automatically when the page loads. And thereafter, I have a button down here, and that button can be clicked and invoke the same method or the same function. Okay, so I write that program code one time in the load randPic function, and then I can call it up automatically when the page loads in memory, and I can call it up manually on button click as many times as I want to once the page is loaded. And again, if I go back here and take a look at this, you'll see that I simulate the page load when I refresh, and when I click next, I can manually force that same function to be called up over and over again. And that's the third example.